Law enforcement talk about how much that Officer Allen's family was a comfort to them because they were so deeply, just a hole in the community left by them. And I was at Independence Police Department earlier this week, that memorial that Carolyn was standing in front of, and something I noticed, they have the names of the fallen listed on the memorial out there. There are 7 names, which is 7 too many, dating back to the 1800s. And the last is just in the last couple of years. We were talking earlier about Officer Blaise Madrid events in 2021. And while we were there just for an hour that morning, the next day, we saw people come up and drop off donuts for the officers. And I would ask them, do you have any connection? So just wanting to support, just wanting to support the community and the law enforcement community and his family.
Yeah, we have seen that, an outpouring of support for Officer Allen, for his family. You know, speaking of Officer Allen, we got a glimpse into his personality today.
Yeah.
And just, wow, I mean, just what a wonderful human being from what they described, you know, hearing that he was tough and he was fearless, but that he valued his family above all. An officer saying he was an amazing father and a role model to my kids. Another officer saying he took his responsibilities seriously. He was the kind of cop you wanted with you in a critical incident. Saying that he had an infectious laugh, and people talked about his smile. We heard the deputy chief and fellow officers saying that no matter who you were, if he saw you, he would show you a picture or a video of his kids. That just about everyone in the department had at least one video of his kids, that he was such a proud father. They talked about his wife, Danielle, of 14 years, how much he adored her, how proud of her he was, how he was so proud of his parents and the relationship they had, and how that set a model for him. And so you got this picture of somebody who really tried to prioritize his job as a police officer, his calling, his family, and then you heard that he gave back to friends too.
Yes,
that he was a very loyal, right.
Taking those one day off to go help a friend who had been injured, right? And you could tell like moments of levity in so many of them, giving that little peek of personality, loving peanut butter, being silly and being someone that everybody wanted to talk to, wanted to be around. And still someone who served their community in really, really hard and difficult situations too.
Absolutely. We're watching this live feed now, and we're continuing to see officer after officer coming and paying their respects, standing in front of the casket. A reminder that following this, there will be a procession going to his gravesite, and that's where they will do some of the honors. If you recall, in some of the past ones that we've done, sometimes they do those outside of the church or wherever they have gathered. This one, they're going to be doing those honors at the gravesite, and so at the request of the family, we have been invited there to share that with you. Something his dad was saying, he told kind of, you mentioned levity, Lindsay, but he talked about, we heard the word hero a lot today. We heard hero, we heard he was a superhero, we heard them telling his children, your daddy was a superhero, but his father said that they joked that as a little kid, Officer Allen bit into a thermometer, remember one of those old school thermometers, and that he got some mercury in his mouth, and so they joked that at the time, that's what gave him his superpowers, that he was faster, he was stronger, and so there were some moments of levity, but just everything we heard about him, just glowing reviews, and you could tell this was someone who truly touched members of the community and members of that department.